Hey everybody, we're here today. We're having a hangout. We have our lovely Amy.
Hello.
We have Rosy. We have James Brockhurst, and we have the Black Sheep researcher with us. So good evening, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks
Hello.
for having me on.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Amy.
Hi,
Paul.
James. Hi, everyone.
What do you like
Hello.
to be called then? Paul or the Black Sheep researcher?
Oh, call me Paul. It's easier. Other people, then
Oh.
you can remember it easy.
Oh.
Well, yeah, we've got together. We know that where James sits with his knowledge, and Rosie's right in there. You're a bit different, but what we're going to talk about today, where we are, the situation.
Sure.
Anything.
It is a situation, isn't it? It's flipping terrible, I think.
It's a very strange and trippy situation, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, nobody knows what's going on and where we're going.
No, exactly. It's a game of chess. It's their move now, whether it be the control system or the sacrificial pawns who will, if this weather holds, they will, after about 3 more days of this glorious sunshine, are going to
They're
start
gonna
getting
go
very edgy.
crazy because they're going to want to get to the beaches and the parks and everywhere, and it's just silly expecting everyone to stay in.
You know something? I listened to what Boris had to say to us because I did a video about it and looking at it. And what I actually think happens is that I watched this other video I got sent. So basically, the person will sit there with a little camera going whatever they've got to say. They need 10 seconds of the other person, and then they can make that person say and do what they want.
Yeah.
So that's how they get Boris on the television. They get Trump on the television. That's how they do it, right? So it isn't them. It's just 10 seconds of them. And then they pretend that they've been down to India or Africa or wherever it is. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing to us. That's what we're being led by, is people who are making videos.
Oh, no, it's horrible.
Sometimes,
Virtual reality videos. That's all it is.
sometimes you don't. I used to think, well, not long ago, that they don't seem to know what's going on as well. You know, about like facial expressions and different things. It's like something's scaring them a little bit too. Whether it's obviously that we know what the situation with the coronavirus and all that is, but they seem to be on edge, like something's going down. That's
Well,
not,
do you know what that's
not in your
about? Do you know
power.
what that is, Paul? Because they didn't film it today or yesterday. They filmed it weeks ago, so they've got no feelings into it. So that's why they're a bit because they don't. What can they do? They're having to make, oh my god, coronavirus videos, but it hasn't happened yet. They've got no feelings.
Oh.
There is no feelings because they're just making a video.
What we're dealing with here is basically a spoilt child. It's like, well, if I can't have it, nobody can. The adrenaline is they're in short supply, so they're making it so we've got short supplies of food. These resets, there's 2 versions. One is the end of the Zodiac age, and the intermediate one seems to be their version of it, which is always destruction. But I think this is what the 5G is about. They're trying to repel the magnetic field because all the buildings will sink. It's not as we've been thinking, that is a sort of mud flood as such. It's a sound vibration, and the sheer weight of all the buildings will sink by a couple of floors. Because I thought, well, how did they get those tram tracks?
I did all that on my channel because I saw that they went to this place in China and you can walk around it. And what it is the buildings, like it's just their roofs which are showing. I've made videos about it a couple of weeks ago myself, that some of these buildings have sunk. That's what they've done. But weirdly, they don't get smashed up when they're sinking.
It's not.
Yes.
It's not like a physical force, because obviously the tops of the buildings are going to be very sort of, they're not going to have the structural strength to the antenna. So it's an electromagnetic field that comes down in the same way that we shed skin. I mean, the human skin is made up of various layers. They've flipped everything. I mean, you look at the number 6, it's the golden spiral, which they've turned into the number 9. So if you look at the number 9, you start at the center point of the where the circle joins the tile, and then it goes round up, and then it goes down, and it goes the wrong way, whereas the 6 actually goes upwards and to the right, which is where we want to go. It's all about staying neutral to this. I mean, there'll be plenty of people that will.
Yeah.
Let them sort it out. Fight it amongst themselves is the answer.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories going around, isn't there? Like, I've covered so many on the COVID and the corona, and originally it was a novel virus, and it changed names. Like I said, we've done videos on that, and me and James have talked about this at length. It's like we always know it. The world's a stage, and they're playing out in front of us. We're like the pawns, but what's different is most of us have not just like the research skills, it's common sense, because not enough people with common sense. You can be the brainiest, you can research the craziest, be the best, but if you lack common sense and the ability to connect things and see the past, see the bigger picture, it's no good having all them skills. And unfortunately, I see a lot in this community is not enough people with born common sense. Listen to your intuition and your gut more. It's so crazy how things have changed in a short period of time.
Can I just say that I put a video up today, Amy? Did you see it, Amy? It says Amy found the truth. Whatever I put.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
What it is that there is another case which is relevant. Sorry, people are messaging me. It's relevant, right? It's the Watts case. And what it was is, a couple of weeks ago, someone sent me a link and said, look at this. This just looks like this person. And then what it is Amy found her Facebook, and she's a nurse, right? And in there, she's got what it is and all this stuff up, and it's got COVID-19 and stuff. But as you scroll down her Facebook, Amy found it. It says 2017. It's on her Facebook. So they're talking...
Yes.
They're talking COVID-19 in 2017. So they're lying that it happened in 2019 and 2020. He was here in 2017.
Well,
it's Facebook.
It comes to something when somebody gets crushed where a carjack collapses, and the cause of death of that is put down as the same thing.
Yeah, they're putting so many silly deaths down to it, aren't they? I mean,
yes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you look at a death certificate, as it was on Freak Sense TV channel, one of the most recent videos that Charlie has done, and it has a doctor with a vast amount of experience speaking, and basically a death certificate, the causality of death is an educated guess. So, for example, you could be hit by a car, so you could actually die from the injuries, the impact of the car, or it could be internal bleeding. But it depends what they put down, and they're being encouraged to put this thing down to boost the and inflate the numbers.
But you get money, don't you? I think I don't know, it's so many thousands per death for COVID-19 that you get paid the hospital. So the hospitals are getting money for every death linked to COVID-19.
That's right. Yes.
And in a pandemic, everything can be associated to that disease. So that's why they're able to do it, unfortunately.
Exactly.
It sounds like we're in an era, doesn't it, though? Like from now on, this is what we're going to be labelled as. It's going to be that thing. It's just a bit weird, really. And it sounds military to me.
Yes.
It does, yes. And if you go into Google Patents and you put in like COVID-19, you'll find the patent for it, or you even put in the name of the virus and you'll find different patents and stuff going back for years. So I don't know what that means, that, there's patents for the different, for the COVID-19 and even the coronavirus. It's got the patents. If you just put it in, and people have shared different numbers of the patents. So I think what they were doing, they have been messing around with the coronavirus to make it more potent. But why would you do that? One of the doctors had said, I can't remember which one, but he said that there's no reason to be trying to take something and mess around with it to make it more potent. So I just find it really
Not just that, the
curious.
video that I've put up with Amy, that person in there reckons it's 1 in 66,400 that you'll get it. 1 in 66,400.
Wow. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, what is it with the coronavirus? There's about 40 things classed as coronavirus that actually included, in the umbrella. So there's 40 diseases or viruses, whatever you want to call it. So you have 40 odd: cold, flu, influenza, all that different things. So you have all them types that it's classed as umbrella. I believe I had this, whatever this is, in December because I couldn't stop coughing for months. A lot of people around here were really, really ill. But it's class. As soon as you hear people labeling it a virus, coronavirus, it seems more intimidating, more fearful. Yet coronavirus.
Actually, Paul, you've got to get it right. It's coronavirus disease. You can't have a virus and a disease together, but it's called coronavirus disease.
Yeah.
You'll notice it's number 19, and 19 years ago it was 9/11. Strange coincidence.
oh wow. That's a good point, James. Yes.
They took one of my videos down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really?
I
done that
told
to
them about
me.
£4. Yeah, because I linked it to £4 because the virus disease, whatever we want to call it, it's made 4 things, and I was linking all the 4s all the way through. It's even Bill Gates. You look at Bill Gates, his name, it's the 3rd, but actually his name is William Gates the 4th. And he doesn't use the 4th, he uses the 3rd.
And
I mentioned that in this video, and loads of other links, and they've took it down. It's still on my Facebook, but they've took it down there, connecting all the 4s. It's so strange. They love the symbology, as we know, and while we're here. It's even like, the Saint Corona itself. That location is Anzu, which is a Sumerian underworld god, for one thing. Well, Anzu, in that video I talked about, the periodic table was zinc and gold. And then 2 weeks or last week, Trump's coming out telling everyone to take zinc. Well, isn't it funny that the patron saint of pandemics, the same name, where the location is, it is zinc and gold. And where she's buried, if you look at it, it's like a number 9 as well, and a 1 at the side of the building. There's just too many weird anomalies that pop up in these when you're doing all the research. It's crazy.
Yes, that's right.
Even the shortened versions C and V, you've got 3 and 22, and we know what that one means with the skull and bones.
That's right.
We had a hangout with Claudio the other couple of weeks ago, and it's like when he's looking at it, it's running very biblically at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they're playing out a mixture of the Minority Report, the Matrix, and Revelations mixed up.
Yes, that's about right. That's what it sounds like to me too.
Thing is, they know a great big section of us are awake now.
You can also bring the Triffids to this, because the majority of people went blind, and the majority of people are blind. They're only seeing the 3D aspects to all this, and you see the fear in their eyes. It's incredible.
Oh, I know.
I know this woman in the shop, like, she wanted to help me, and then she said, back, as if she was a police officer, and I said, you're rude. And you're like talking to me like that. They're so, like, I've got a video waiting to go out about this another empty hospital, and sorry, the guy was taking his grandma in, and they wouldn't let him go in, and he said, but I'm her carer, I'm the only one that looks after her. We're the only ones that look after her. And what it was is there was no one in the hospital again. There was no one in the hospital.
Right.
No one there at all. And it's like, do you know what, when you film this, they've got the black and white tape up everywhere as if we've got crime scenes, and it's just awful. It's line.
Yeah, all these arrows and having to avoid people because they go on the other side of the road. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I know.
It is, yeah. And where I live, they just they put the law in effect yesterday that if you go out without your mask, like to the store or something, that you'll get a fine. So Friday night, my daughter, she had gone out to pick up some food and she didn't wear the mask. And this man, he told her, "Shame on you not wearing your mask." And she's told the man, she said, "Don't say that to me." She said, "I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not committing a crime." And then the man told her, "Well, starting tomorrow, you're going to get a fine if you don't wear your mask." So she went to the store yesterday and she didn't wear the mask, but she did take like a bandana with her and she put that around her neck. And when she got to the store, the outside, the guard said, "Well, they may not let you in without your mask," but they did let her in. And then somebody approached her and said, "Oh, miss, without your mask, they're not going to let you get in line." So she said, "Well, do you have a mask for me?" And they said, "No, we're out of them." She said, "Well, I have this bandana I could put." And because she didn't want to wear the mask, she doesn't believe in all that either. And the girl said, "Oh, well, that would be fine." My daughter said, "It'll make me look like a thief the way the bandana is going to look." But the girl said, "Oh, it's okay. Just so you have your mask, that's okay." I said, they don't mind if you're a thief, but just have your mask.
You know what? I'm going to probably upload it, right? Josh Stone, he made a video and he's looking at the face mask as a muzzle. It's a muzzle.
Yes, I saw that. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
if you remember the Doctor Who, one of the recent ones, you've got all those children with the gas masks on. It's basically referencing that in that sci-fi series as well. We've basically got the same story in different stage sets with pretty much every film and everything on television, really. I mean, even if in a war situation, I have to agree with Matt from Quantum of Conscience, where you get these soldiers who will dive on a landmine to save everybody else. Same on the nurses for not sticking to their oath, which is about saving lives. They've probably been threatened that they lose their job if they speak out.
Right.
But Lee from British Sub Channel, he's cast as an essential worker, and he goes into the hospitals in London, and he said they're all empty. The staff are just sitting around bored with nothing to do.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Yes.
Can I just say something? It's really nice. Over the top of everything comes Amy's birds. Can you
Oh,
hear them?
you can hear my birds.
Yeah, I can hear them. Cheep, cheep. We've got cheeping going on the hangout. Yeah, the hospitals are empty.
Oh, I know. I'm sitting outside. Somebody just walked by. She was walking a dog, and I waved to her. She waved back. And I've seen it's nice weather here, so I've seen some people,
Yeah, we had blue
jogging.
skies again. I had blue skies. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, it's been beautiful. I'm keeping my eye out because I do a lot of photographs of the stars, the moon, and different things like that. And while we're on about the corona, I actually thinking into it that it's actually something to do with the sky, hence the corona, the crown.
Yeah.
Because the moon, the sun is just not the same. Like I said, I've periodically been taking pictures every day for the last countless number of years. And I can see the difference in it. It's completely changed. We have China 3 years ago saying they're going to send 3 artificial moons up into the sky by 2022. Well, how many have they got up there now? You've got the new fusion power that is hotter than the sun, dwarfs to 5G, and they have them in certain locations. I've been looking into that on side projects. So all these things about getting artificial suns, artificial moons into the atmosphere is something that does need to look up. We have to look at it, whether you don't believe in certain theories. And sometimes, as me and James talk about quite a bit, we're not scared of looking into topics people don't want to. I class research as knowledge and information. It's all information. So I don't look at a project or a research and say, well, I don't like that personally myself because I don't believe it. I just treat everything as knowledge and information, and I just follow where my intuition leads me, and that's where I find all the goodies that certain people like, wow, you know what I mean? So it's crazy like that. Something's going on, hence calling it Novel to do with the crown. People don't talk about the Corona Borealis. It's actually a star system in the Bootes constellation in the sky, and it talks about that's in regard to Janus and Noah, because that's in the installation itself. I've covered that so many times, as James knows. Like anytime I don't mention Janus to do with the gates and things like that, it's crazy. We just need to drop the ego and treat every topic with the respect it should have, and just enjoy the information. It's information. We're here to experience life, and that's why every topic.
Yeah.
I don't believe in this, or I'm not researching it. It's crazy the links that you can find to any topic.
The only thing is, though, we live in this society where everything is a lie, right? And so we don't know what's the truth and what isn't. Because I mean, I looked up these two places. People don't seem to know about them, and that's when I first was into, waking up. Basically, there's one in Germany and there's one in South America. They make the stars and they can only go 5 miles up. And when you know this stuff, it totally changes your mind. But Ezekiel, they've got a video out, but no one seems to notice them. Yet they've got their own, web page. They've got videos. They can't make the stars go any higher.
What is the truth? And me, you, James, and Amy got in common. You's in the middle of the truth, and the truth is your perspective. And I always shout this to the loudest on my videos. I have an ancient history, civilization background. I look at it that way. Other people have a scientific mind. They will look at any research with that background. Some people are more into the Bible. They will look at it biblically. Whatever is your driving passion influences how you research, and that's why all the truth is your perspective, and it's all different. That's why you can go into a room, have 10 people, show them something, 5 or 3 may have the same because it resonates, but you should get different aspects of the truth. That is why the truth is different for everyone. Hence, you are in the middle of the truth. It's all down to you, your perspective, how you look at topics, and you'll come back with something different. And that's what I love. I think it's beautiful. But it stirs people because it will give you answers to questions you don't want to hear. And that's what's wrong with the truth community. With some people, they don't like asking questions because the answer they may get back goes against their core belief.
That's right.
And then you shut down, and then you start being trolled and different things. When treat it like information, because like you've said, and I have said in my videos, history is neither a lie, truth. It's just his story. The winner always picks it. But it's great.
Yes.
You can't find 10, 15 different links for history. Which do you go with? And you generally go with whatever resonates in your gut.
That's right. That's a good point, Paul. I like that. That's true. Yeah.
There's a word that comes up a lot with this fake space of nebula. Now, if you take into the vowel shift, it's an anagram of Lord Baal.
Oh, wow.
Because N is basically means Lord. The shape of the letter N, you rise, you fall, and move to the right, and then you rise again. It's the same as the number 6 is actually us, because we are 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. And it does say in the Bible, the number of man is 666, not the number of this devil or whatever you want to call it.
Wow.
Then when
thanks for that, James.
Yes.
I also like the way that Paul said that as well. That was very nicely put as well, Paul. Just wanted to say.
Yes.
It's great when you talk about that. I did a post on Facebook the other day. I didn't know, because like I said, you can't learn everything at once. The Hippocratic Oath, that's a joke, it's like a hypocrite, isn't it? But it's not actually for our benefit. If you read it, that they swearing an oath to Apollo, Asclepius, Hygeia, and Pancratia. So that's what, and they're basically swearing an oath that they will teach their skills to their students. It's very hard to find it where it says, actually, we're here to save your life and we want to keep you alive. Do you know what I mean? It's so surreal when you read things. And obviously the oath, now what the people and doctors are saying, it's been changed and moulded to fit into the modern world. But the actual Hippocratic Oath talks about Apollo, the physician, and all them people, and how it's basically they got to look out for their own, which are doctors and things like that.
Right.
My outlook on all this has been from a perspective of having studied religion and theology back in 2012, and I'm now and that's when I started to wake up and realised that things weren't, right. And I started watching all the channels, and then I got into the more spiritual aspect of it as time went on, and I've just recently started my own channel in the last couple of weeks.
Brilliant.
Oh,
cool.
We need more channels.
Well, James was
Well
encouraged.
done, Rosy.
Yeah, it's cool.
The way you think of it is like a great big soup of ingredients. And even when they talk about some of the channels being controlled opposition, even the part that they're telling is truth is changing the creation from the sound that they create, from what they say. So even if they're only telling 50% truth, there's still truth in it.
yes.
I mean, it's perspective as well. To the evil side, we are a huge threat. So they would perceive us as evil in their eyes.
Right.
I suppose there's got to be a bit of truth in it, hasn't it? Because they've got to get us to do it.
Right.
This is how they work. They rely on the deception of fooling people to basically do their dirty work.
And what's hard,
Yes.
what's hard about the truth is it's like that game. I don't know if people's played it. It's called Chinese Whispers, where you whisper the truth in one ear, and time it gets down the line, whatever you've said changes, and that's what basically like history is as well. Because how do we know this is what's happened? Because it's in a book. Well, how if that book they heard it different, and that's what we're talking about. How you have to basically not trust history, even if even say it's a lie, if it's truth, we don't know, and that's what we've talked about. So it's like Chinese Whispers all the way down, and you find it so much. I mean, I'm doing a video at the minute. I thought, well, yeah, I'll do a quick video on the Great Walls of this realm, and I'm including ones that people have not heard of before, which is, I thought, yeah, that'll be quick because I do know a lot of them. But you're getting into the latter stages now, and you're like, oh, I don't want to put the Great Wall of China in and different things, and I don't want that because people know these. So all these hidden gems that we don't know, and we don't get there unless we research everything, even stuff we don't like. There's many times I've been talking to friends.
Yeah, you're so right there, because so many people leave comments on even my channel. But you can take my word for it, take your word for it. But it's best to do your own research. We're putting our videos out because we've done research, but do your own. Go and do your own research.
Right.
I tend to look at the patterns, and it seems to just be a repeat pattern with everything. I would say that every disease has always been inflicted on us. A case in point being, if you look at any picture from the 19th century of any tribal people, they've got perfect dentures because they weren't on processed food with sugars in them.
Well, yeah.
Actually, it's more than that. I don't just think it's off food. I don't know if any of you, I mean, maybe Paul's a little bit young. In the 80s, they couldn't wait to fill your teeth. They were constantly filling and root canaling and filling and making masses of money. And then as we get older, our teeth all fall out because the teeth are just shells while they filled it with a filling.
Right.
There was a big
true.
thing going on, like Ellie's, the boy's dad. I mean, I actually was pregnant. He didn't me, but he's to the boy's dad, he had to have like 8 fillings, but he didn't. And then when they put filling in, they weaken the tooth.
A tooth has a root on it, and it's very close to the word thoth, which is where we get the word thought as well. And I mean, the origins of the Mad Hatter is supposed to be the metal lining drove people mad. So they've moved it from the hat and put it inside these mercury fillings. And it does have an adverse effect. So the quicker the fillings fall out, the better, really.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
the question comes from that is, what are they filling us with? I would say the day we stop asking.
Didn't they put mercury in the fillings or something? We had mercury in our mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say the day we stop asking questions and think we've got the answers is the day we mentally.
It's not just who wants to go to the doctors; it's who wants to go to the dentist anymore.
Exactly.
I've been for 18 years now. I don't plan on going.
Oh, I know. It's been a couple of years for me too. I don't want to go. But when I was a child, they would put those fillings with the mercury. And then I went to this dentist, and he's kind of like really high end. And he took all the mercury fillings out and replaced them with something else, and it's white, it's not silver, so it like just blends into your teeth. But he's kind of expensive.
The video? One came into my box the other day. It was about we're the children that had mercury in the paint, and it goes the list of things, and then it says, but we're still here. They are trying to put it in our mouths.
Oh, I know.
And most of it didn't realise.
Yeah.
There was a big advertising campaign in the 70s for a fizzy drink with a polar bear in sunglasses called Corona.
Oh.
And physical, the bubbles, as if drinking carbonated drinks. I mean, you're basically drinking air bubbles. To me, that just seems wrong.
When we were young.
Oh, reminiscing.
This is it, going through the 70s and thinking of all the E numbers they put in foods, and we're still here. We've survived it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not just that as well, is it? It's what they put in the meat. It's what they put in the meat, all the hormones the animals are eating, and then you're eating them. Carry on, Paul.
Yeah, like I said, just getting the 70s, mate. I was born in the 70s, so I do know a little bit about it. Yeah, but like you've just said, it's not just the food. Obviously, it's the water, it's the vaccine, because they've obviously the number of the shots that they give. But it's we breathe. Our teeth are actually made out of crystal. Why don't they fill them with a type of crystal backing instead of all these metals? So it's all strange that when we talking like this, it's like second nature. We take it for granted. You know what I mean? It's not. We don't go anymore. We're not in shock. So we've been like desensitized a little bit as a community when we hear something new. It's like when you see someone dying or something like this. Like, yeah, and what could it be? 5G or this corona? And that human element, the humanity is going out of us. And that's why I try get positive message on my channel to try and get people to do one good deed a day, like a pay it forward. Because like I said, I don't monetize, but I say to people always say to me, oh, I'll take this off as Paul. I went, no, just do me one good deed a day for that person and tell them to do the same. Like the film Pay It Forward type of thing. Because we need to get the core.
Yeah, we need to share and care.
Yeah.
And the one thing is that I was talking to Marilyn. She's about another 10 years older than me, and she was talking about the fact that right now no one's helping each other. Everybody's saying all the hopeless are locked in, and no one's seeing them all that, but nobody's helping, and they've got like whenever you meet people, it's get away. Everybody's just thinking of themselves. They're not helping.
Yeah,
Paul has hit the nail on the head. That what you've just said, taking it for granted. Well, who's granted it to us? And an extension of that, if we sort of talk about veganism as the answer, when you think what those plants grow in, I mean, basically it's an animal byproduct coming out the back end, and then you add in blood, fish, and bone into the soil. I mean, what bones of what?
Right.
People realize, like I said, I do many things on my videos, on my channel. Like the first vegan and vegetarian were the secret society, the Pythagoreans, where we get all the secret society symbols. Now they're like the ones that people's not many's heard of. That's why I did the video on it. They were encouraging veganism. I'm not against veganism or anything, but I say to something, there is an experiment called the Baxter effect, when they actually show they put electrodes onto plants, they have feelings.
Yes.
Everything has feelings because we're all connected. So we should treat not just animals, but plants, everything with respect.
In an ideal world, we'd
Yeah.
be living on the windfalls that the trees give us freely. But obviously, with many people.
It just makes you think, did a long time ago, whatever, because we don't know how long we're here and whatever patterns we're in, that we didn't even need food.
Yeah, that's right. I've heard of people that have tried to wish that we could be like plants and be able to make the food, you know, like a plant. They take the sun and then, you know, for the photosynthesis or whatever, it makes the food. But my sister, she's into being a vegan or a vegetarian, and she has heard about that the plants have feelings, and she was sometimes she doesn't even want to cut up a carrot or a radish or a tomato because she says it's got feelings. She heard that it has feelings, and she got really upset about that. And I said, well, you know, I don't think it feels it the same way as like a person with a brain or something. But yeah, that's really interesting.
I know. I saw this video. Basically, it's a bit like this plant. This person chopped bits off it, and they were censoring it. And it's a bit like the plant. He's coming to chop more of me. The plant knows they don't like people. They don't like them. There he is. They know who the person is. And they don't have a brain. Weird.
Right. Yeah.
It was a very interesting case where they actually convicted a man on the evidence of a polygraph test of a plant. The only person it reacted to was this son of this the proprietor, and it turned out he was the one that murdered his own father to get control of this business. And it actually stood up in court that the polygraph test from the plant was what convicted him.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
that is crazy.
I think we just have to remain open to it. This is the thing. Where is the boundaries of space? Well, space is in the head, and it's wherever your imagination stops, and what you will allow yourself to accept, and what you will dismiss as impossible. I think is the answer.
Yes.
I think what we've got to do with the food is do what the Native Americans do, and simply ask permission of whatever it is you're going to put into your body first, and say, sort of, like I always bless the water, you know. I don't use that particular word because it's, but I'll say I love you, water, you know. And if you tell something you love, mean to hurt it, then you can eat it or drink
all about
it.
The spells, the good spell. All spells, you are projecting with that spell, and you're implanting a sigil on the water because it's a medium. So your frequency, when you're speaking that spell, it's actually imprinting the energy, which is a sigil, onto whatever you're doing, and that's what they're doing. And it's a beautiful thing. People, there's obviously evil spells, and you have good spells. It's a duality. It's the mirror image. It's just so crazy when you want to look at topics.
So we are what we speak then.
Yeah.
It's like the game when we had was kids, speak and spell.
Yeah.
It's just close to real. I've got a lot of, me and James do talk about this a lot, about the spells and different things, and looking into the etymology of the spells. It's a strange thing when you do look at it like that. I mean, when I did my research for one video, I find out, and James will acknowledge this because we was talking at the time, it's called the Great Vowel Shift, the vowel shift. So like in the 15th century to the 18th century, they did not change. They changed the science. They changed how we spoke. They changed everything in that 300-400 year period that we still use today. Everything. So they changed the frequencies of spells, everything. Why?
Do you know what that is? That's because they won, whoever they are, and they changed the history. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that they is the correct name for them, because if you take the Y off, which is the Y chromosome, you're left with V, which is a study of God, which is in each and every one of us anyway. So they is the correct name for them, really, because they hide behind many many masks, and now they're trying to get everybody else to wear masks.
Exactly. Yes. Great.
And then you're going
point.
back to Janus, then are you, with the many faces,
Yes.
who people don't know who is, and he's the god of choice. Baal, Baphomet, even Noah is Janus.
Yeah.
So you're talking about one of the major gods. Even he is, to them, not like me personally, he is a god of God. He is
Yeah.
January, first of all, and then every first day of every month is in honor of him. So he gets every first day of every month plus all January. Your vows, you know, your New Year's resolutions. He's getting all this frequency and energy.
Oh,
Well, isn't
wow.
it funny?
Everything.
The calendar, or see all lender months, are 21 days prior to the zodiac month, which is 21 being 3, which is the symbol of divine feminine.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's when we've been talking about maps. You know, you get on the maps, all the ancient maps, you get an I and a J, and people thinking, yeah, it's Jesus. Well, Janus is J, and
Yeah.
Janus's Latin name is Ianus. So they even get it on the maps, and you just don't have to take my word for it. Like we always say, research yourself, see how important this guy, transgender, we know it's going down in Hollywood and most places. He is two-faced now. He is a female and a male, the X and Y chromosome. I've gone so much stuff. We even have a Janus molecule. It acts as a bridge. I've talked about this in regards to the coronavirus. He's in the constellations. This guy has come from nowhere to be everywhere. And we know they're pushing the agenda for the gods. And it's like, how can you come from nowhere
Right.
and be so influential in society? It's frightening. And no one has batted an eyelid when I was mentioning, oh, Janice, you know who Janice is? And like, who's Janice?
They've taken
There's something else I find really a bit weird as well, because we're now quite aware of these Tartaria maps, right? But at the same time, we have the Ottoman Empire that went into North Africa and took over. How can they be doing all that if we're stuck in Tartaria? There's no definition of when that began and when that ended and when everybody else was doing their bit. But there's history for, you know, like the Tartarian Empire took over quite a lot of land and people.
Well,
Yes.
tartan pattern in Scotland from, it's related to the German word vater, which is father.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's a repeat pattern with everything. I mean, they've taken the divine union in the mind and the soul, and they always debase everything. So they've taken it lower than the root chakra, which is red, which is associated with hell, and they've taken it lower down than that with this transgender agenda. I mean, you've got the Statue of Liberty, which is clearly Apollo in a dress. Insolvent is the more correct name for it, I think. And it's got that crown on its head, the coronet.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point, James.
Yeah. It's so strange when you look at things differently, and then something like James had just said that, and you go, aha, yeah, that aha moment. It's like when I was talking before about that zinc and gold. Obviously, you had the Corona Borealis, and that was King Minus's. So you're talking about the gold link straight to the Anzu, and the gold and the zinc. The both of them periodic numbers add up to 19. 109, obviously take the 0 away, you get 19. So the place where she is laid to rest is 19. You know what I mean? And you can see it. So all these strange anomalies, it seems like they have to get it in. It's like a compulsion. Like they have serious OCD. You know what I mean?
Yes.
OCD, and they have to.
Feels like to me, I put these videos out on Unscrambled, but basically it comes in my feed box, like Spanish flu came in, like that film of 1967, which is explaining that they make the news for at least 2 or 3 years ahead, and that's what they're doing. They're just making it up for us. And you know, another one came in. Oh my goodness, I've thought about things now.
The news is the Gospels. That's what that's their take on it. The news, basically gospel. It's basically good news, and the news, how we see it, the news, that is the gospel. That's what they do, and that's why it's so in their favour.
Oh yeah, that's it. This is what I think's happened, right? this other one came into my feed box. It was about NASA wanting to take over the Earth. They want to take over local government. They want to take over flights. They want to take over the drones. They want to do everything down here. And it had cognitive engineering on it. Now, I couldn't find any news station following that. But what I noticed was, when they wanted to get us in for deepfake, so they get us in for deepfake, we're watching 20 minutes of that, and it goes back to the desk, and then they say we're going to war with someone else. So they always get you pulled in on one thing, and then they tell you something else. Goes on, and it's games, and
Well, if you talk about NASA, people.
That's the other thing. Very quickly, just to put it in the talk right now. A few months ago, the garage up the road changed from a co-op and a Texaco. It closed down and it reopened as a Merkel with its own shop. And what it is it just reminded me what's going on now. Apart from the big businesses, everything is shut down. And it's like we're being taken over right now by someone else. Is it NASA?
Well,
the Paris riots, it seemed to be stirred up and attacking small businesses, which won't recover. Yeah. So what a wonderful way of getting rid of small businesses.
Listen, we don't have any rights, and we're not even classified as humans.
No.
And all the things we spent months and years putting into place with the monetary system and the laws have all gone out the window. And overnight, you've got a prime minister saying, and you can't even go and see your neighbours. You can't go out. You can't do this. Like some communist. I can't say the word.
Communistic.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Regime. And all the laws that were passed before have gone, and now we've got new ones in there. So, we already know that they give us the situation and then they give us the answers. But it's what they want.
That what you're on about, I'll just get that NASA in before it goes out of my head. I'm just so remember, when you always mention NASA, people always go, oh, it means, the Hebrew and all that stuff. And that's debated because you'll get different people saying it. But what is never said, Hebrew in Latin means a trap. It means a snare. And I keep telling people, you don't have to go on about the Hebrew. It actually says in Latin, the language, the dead language, the angelic language, the God language, the dead, whatever you want to call it, it means to trap, to snare. And that is basically what we're talking about now. They're trying to gain power, they're trying to snare, and they're trying to trap everyone. And it just goes hand in hand with what you're just saying.
Even the countdown of these launches of these rockets that are supposedly going into space, notice it's T-. So they've taken the T out of NASA, which spells Satan.
Oh, wow. I never thought of that.
The red fork, the letter T, and then you'll notice every space agency has that same symbol.
Wow.
The sad thing is that a lot of people don't realise that they've made all these, made the Boris stand there and, made him make the video, and there's all these things, and they're going, don't go out, don't do this. And people have really sucked it in. We've surrendered in a couple of days without anything, and we're all stuck in our homes. I've been in for 3 weeks now. I mean, all of us will be at home a bit more than most people anyway, because we do hangouts and so forth, and we're on our computers and we're looking at YouTube. Being at home isn't quite the same, but it is different because nothing's open except the garages and the shops that are open, which aren't many.
That's great.
There is a lot of positives that people are not seeing. They're always looking at the negatives because of what the media portrays it. But look at how many road traffic accidents are not happening now. The schools are shut, so the kids are not being indoctrinated. They're not getting the money from oil. All the religious centres have closed the doors. Those that always say fear no evil were the first to shut the doors.
No chemtrails. There's no clouds up there.
I've seen the odd chemtrail, not as bad because I've been filming the chemtrails, and obviously keep my eye out on. There seems to be a lot of helicopters around Aberdeen, so if you're near Aberdeen, there's always seems a lot around there. But yeah, it is a beautiful thing in the sense that I'm seeing more and more people that were classed as being asleep, fighting out, becoming more rebellious. I'm seeing it everywhere I'm going. I'm talking to more people, so in that sense of it, I'm saying, while they've brought more people up, I believe it isn't their downfall. They're creating more and more anarchists.
Yeah.
They're making it. It's not just young people.
Paul, when the Spanish flu video came to my thing, and I thought that was really weird because it took them out almost immediately. Their eyes, noses, and ears could be bleeding, and you're thinking that's a virus. Anyway, it said in there, the guy writing a book said, but you don't know what they put this out, and then you're watching it, and then it happens. He said that the people stopped believing in the government, and they stopped believing in each other. And that's what I see is going on right now.
Oh, I'm seeing like total opposite. I know James, I think by his reaction it is. I'm seeing more, even though they're saying you can't go out, I'm seeing people in the street actually talking.
I think more people are awake. Some people know there's something wrong, but they don't really know what it is. A lot of people.
That's what we hear. I know some people don't understand it, and so I'm not here for feminine. But if you think about it, when you have a channel and you have subscribers, people are actually watching your content. You are doing a service, like keeping morale up, and that's why I try and do more positive stuff, even though some of them can't be, because we have a duty. It's weird that my channel's going through the roof for this last year because people just like something different, and they're sick of seeing the same old stuff, and the push for the money or the negativity, calling people. What's wrong with? We seem to have forgot what is wrong to disagree. It's like you can't disagree between the truthers. I mean, it's crazy. If I say one thing, people, oh, well, no, it's not this, it's this. Did you not just realise what we just said? The truth is your perspective to you. So there can be a million truths, and these things are spells, and they have their own frequency, and frequency resonates. That's why sometimes a video that James will do, I'll really like it. And it likewise, and then some videos, it's not my thing, but I respect what he does and understand his research, and it's his opinion, and I don't like go shouting anymore. I don't believe in that because
do you know what you've made me realise, Paul? Do you know the one thing that I think's missing from a lot of people is communication?
Yeah,
because a lot of those people are just watching the television and not talking to each other, so none of us are short of our feelings and things to say because we communicate.
You don't know if people are laughing, angry, mad at you, because it's just bland. There's no feeling to it unless you put a LOL or a ha ha ha. People don't take it the wrong way because they're taking the emotion out of the interaction of the humanity. Again, like this thing now with the spells, and you can't go within 2 meters. That is your circumference of your toroidal field. So if I'm positive, I'm oozing out a positive vibe, which we all say, and that is a positive frequency. It's like when I was talking in my video that I believe one of the reasons these things are transferred is when you get a virus, it's injected. As we know, it's a dead thing, but once it's in you, it multiplies using you. But it might send out a distress call. If you think about it, a virus, everything in this world, they say, is a frequency.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you, Paul. Right, on my channel, at the moment, I'm putting out a lot of posts just to show what people are saying and doing. But I put the positive ones of James and stuff like that on the channel as well, because we've got to remain up. But I actually wonder when people are watching the news with the messages they're saying, that they're giving us a message like, turn yourself off. Because before Christmas, I hope Amy doesn't mind me saying this, she basically was told to tell her dad to let go, tell him to go to Jesus, tell him to let go. And I put a video on the other day when this guy was horrified when they, let's anaesthetize her now sort of thing. And that's not what he wanted. And he was very angry about it. But again, he was told to tell his mum to go. I think they've got some message like this when and the news comes on and you can watch it almost 24 hours and he's corona this and corona that, and look what they're doing. They're making it look like this. It's 66,400. 1 in 66,400 are going to get it. Come on,
exactly.
I did last week. Sorry to interrupt if anyone's speaking. About a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I emailed the Worldometer, who's doing the tracking. And I pinpointed, I put all the facts in. I said, you are creating fear porn. I said, I know why you're doing it. You're not stating anyone that's recovered. The figure is still the same after 3-4 weeks. Hence, you were telling me it takes 7 days to recover up to 14. You should be recovered. I know people that, so I didn't say that. I said, you should know people that's recovered. Why are your stats only showing the deaths and the cases numbers? The very next day, they wiped the figures out. They didn't put none on. They completely took them off. I emailed them again and said, hey, see, Boris is recovered. Are you going to put that onto your meter?
Do you know the other thing? I just feel we're being taken over. Because how can you do this on such appalling figures, make it look like it's this great big thing and close the whole world down. There's one doctor outside the hospital said we should have just got the virus. We should have just gone through it.
Right.
The day I emailed them again about that, they actually put the figure to NA, and you can have a look on the site on the UK one. They changed it to every time I was emailing them, bombarding them, saying you basically fiddling the figures. They took that whatever I mentioned down, and I've posted, and it's gone crazy. And then I mentioned this, and they put it to not applicable or not available, because they don't want people to know that they're recovering, because it's not there. It's made up in a sense that people think, oh, coronavirus disease, like we've talked about, a cold. If you've had a sniffle in the last couple of days, you went for a so-called test. There's no test available, but if you went for a test, you come back with the coronavirus, because the cold, a stuffy nose, is the coronavirus.
Right.
So they're labeling so many things. Like cancer, that's been cured. When's the last time
We have the coronavirus anyway. That's why all the tests will show we've got it, because we actually have that in our body, but it's coming out of us. And, you know, a lot of the reason we get viruses is because, you know, the toxins in your body want to get out, or maybe
that was the point. I was trying in my video. What is it? If you can picture a bridge, in your head now for anyone watching or whatever is happening. Picture a bridge. You got a person, a guardian on the bridge. He's putting his hands out. He's a positive person. He's stopping the negativity from coming out, because he's a plus. Just imagine a plus symbol. A man standing up with his hands out. He's blocking the path of negativity. Once you get your immune system lowers due to 5G, all the chemicals in the food, you become negative. His hands are down. He's a minus. All the negativity then is just rushing past. And this is what's happening with the virus, in my opinion. We have it in us already. They have to ignite it by getting us more negative. Your force field, your toroidal field, when you become ill, you're weakening it. It's your own...
Basically, all the things about them wanting to take our energy is the truth. Then they want our energy.
They want the
Perhaps the best way of saying it is it's problem, reaction, solution.
Oh yes.
And I think the best way to think of this, if you picture the yin yang symbol in your mind, you're walking that very fine line between the light and the dark. So it's looking into the negatives and also looking into all the positives, and walking that neutral path.
Yes.
Yes, you've got to walk the neutral path, the path in the middle.
Yeah,
it's really hard. Yeah,
definitely.
That's a good point.
And that brings that brings you back to the I know I hate to mention, because it just covers so much, the Janus aspect. And Pythagoras, he talks about the forking of the paths. And that is the why philosophy that I talk about. It's talking about left or right path. Well, why do we have to take the left or right path? Why can't we take the middle path? Why can't we create our own path?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Because it's all about some form of control.
Do you think that the people will be becoming too independent? Because everything seems to be like, you know, we go to the plastic supermarkets. It's like a nanny state, but the people want to be more independent.
Yeah.
You know, like when Boris got in on an 80-seat majority, Amy knows I broke the video down. He looks the size of a Monopoly piece on a game board in the middle of the road. The road is only 2 cars wide. He looks like he's standing in the middle of a field, because you've got the reporter on this side of the road, and Boris looks like a little tiny diddy thing, and also the tree and everything's moving, where they messed around with, you know, fitting him in and that. You know, like he said, we won with an 80-seat majority is amazing, but he didn't.
Boris is just a puppet, like they all are. It's the
what I'm saying is, they filmed it months before, telling us, and so when they did all this, I've got him with an 80-seat majority, but he didn't.
Yeah, and you said that not very many people were even watching it.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I looked at ITV News when he said, this is momentous and we're back at Downing Street and whatever he had to say. 6,000 people had watched it 24 hours later on ITV News.
Yeah, when it was supposed to be
It
like a
was 2000 on
landslide.
BBC, but you know, lots of people watch the BBC for the news, don't they? Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I've got the news.
I
I
don't
know.
watch
It's like
any.
watching EastEnders.
Right.
Dallas to you Americans, you know, soap opera.
Right, soap operas, yes. Yeah, I don't watch any mainstream anymore, not at all. Of course,
I've
yeah.
not had a telly for 5 years now. I don't watch television anymore.
That's great. I don't watch much. I watch movies here and there just to distract myself. So sometimes I have to take a break from all the serious stuff. So, but I don't. That's all I watch is maybe some movies here or there.
Anything history, I have to watch just because I like seeing all the different perspectives.
Yeah.
It's funny with me because it's like cycles with me. It's like I never wanted to. I hated memes a few years ago. I hated memes. I end up making them all the time now. I didn't want to go on YouTube. I'm on here now. So it's crazy how if you don't restrict yourself, yeah, you can all say, oh, I don't really do that, but don't restrict yourself. There's so many things that you're missing out on, good or bad.
Right.
We do need the good and bad because that is a perspective. We learn from mistakes. We learn.
Oh, you know something? Paul's like a breath of fresh air, isn't he, Amy?
Yes, he is.
Oh,
I know.
Keep breathing, everybody.
Exactly.
That's what I always try and say. I have so-called society learning difficulty, which is rubbish. From an early age, I was asking them questions. I was just asking questions like Columbo, one more question, because that's how I learn. I was scared of writing things because I'm dyslexic, so-called dyslexic. I just believe dyslexia is from a creator or a god making me immune to the spell. That is just my uptake on it. So when I can't read the spell,
I'm artificially dyslexic with this stupid thing they piloted in the 60s called ITA. It was a new phonics that the schools were bringing out. They put me on that, so I learned it was about taking joined up writing out and using backs of other letters so you could make an I and a T, a letter, etc., etc. And then for me, it was like being put in a French class. I'd gone from French into English. It was teaching me something totally different, but it artificially made thousands and thousands of children dyslexic, and then they just said, "Oh, the poor working class children," whatever excuse they want to make about it all. When really they piloted something, they never told the nursery where I learnt it. Never told the school.
Yeah,
and I missed the whole of my junior school through it. I just didn't learn to read and write because I'd been taught something so different. And I'm just saying, there's whatever it is, when James and I and Rosy and Amy, it's more it was thalidomide children that were being born, and everybody forgets that was another set of people. Now it's that children get autism or whatever it is through the injections, or something's happening through those injections.
Yes.
Well, I'm autistic with Asperger's, so-called.
Oh wow!
But I'm wondering whether all of us have something like this, even if it's slightly. And those, whatever it is, whether you think you're a linear worker, whatever it is, there's something, because we're on a different frequency and we don't buy it.
That just sounds like what you got talking about my last video when I did a video on the Watchers. And obviously people think all the fallen angels and different things. And I theorize, just my own opinion, what happens if we're talking about different emotions, different personalities that of frequencies which can influence? So you see all these movies and they talked about the angels and the demons can only whisper in your ear. Well, the ER is basically a form of Aramaic for the Watcher. So when we're talking about whispers in your ear and only can influence, what happens if these frequencies are just out there? The frequency fell, the negative frequency fell. Just picture it on like a band on your like your old music system, and the equalizer is going there. If the frequency fell, if they fell, they're just lowering to this baseline frequency. And could they actually be influencing our personalities? Some of us can ward it off. But it's like when you sitting there and you're doing nothing, you're reading a book or something, and you're getting an idea out of nowhere. Where does it come from? Is it you? What if you have? Because you have to be honest with yourself. I've sat there the odd time and I've got a really evil thought in my head, and I thought, wow, that is not me. Where's this evil thought come from?
Right.
A lot of people, and they're the same. Yeah, it's like something is influencing, and if everything is like we are saying, a frequency and a spell, well, why
See what you mean? Other people's frequencies, yeah. Because you know, we've all probably had miserable lives and horrible things go wrong. But I choose to be a nice person.
Yeah,
but a lot of people
Right.
can't do it. They cannot be nice.
That's right. Yes.
You know, I don't like this now. You know, everything. You know, when we're talking about what's happening, they've also made this society very narcissistic.
Yeah.
And that's very selfish.
Yes.
You know, and that's an illness, actually. They've made society ill.
And you know what else they've done? Sorry to interrupt anyone. And I don't mean this in a bad way. No one take this a bad way. But they've made society, as you said, narcissistic. And have you noticed everyone's an empath?
Yeah.
Not everyone be an empath. Unless...
Yeah, I think that's it. The empaths might be the... I'm an empath. Amy's an empath. Do you think you're one, Paul?
I don't know. I'm just... It seems society, everyone is an empath, whether it's a cycle or have they actually forced...
Yeah, but an empath, we feel other people's feelings.
I know, but that's some point. If you get more sensitive to snowflake generation and these people, well, it's because I'm an empath. Well, are you really, or is it the case of the baseline frequency? You have been changed, your personality has changed to actually be offended by something. It's like society, like we took away from. Remember when I was growing up, and obviously you guys may know a bit more. The nucleus of a family, you were all like closer. You knew every neighbour. Now, if you say hello to someone, they look at like you're from another planet.
Yes.
I'm always smiling. I smile. I open the door, say good morning. You know,
right.
My mum brought me up to be a gentleman, so I still do now. Open the door, say hello, do all this, and people are like, "What are you doing?"
I know.
I'm holding the door. I'm saying good morning. If I see someone in the street, like I said on my video, I do a lot of running. I used to, and James has heard this before. I was running around a circuit. I used to stop every Saturday and talk to this old man just for a minute. And it went on and on for a few weeks. And one week I didn't see him. And then the following week he jumped out. He said, "You know what? You saved my life because you said hello to me. No one ever talks to me. I've had no human interaction. And I was going to kill myself that morning."
Oh my God.
I was taken back. Do you know what I mean? I really get emotional now talking about it because you don't realise the power of the spell you have or the positivity. Just saying hello could change someone's day for the better. Just that one time.
Exactly.
And that's what's going away from society.
You know what that's about though, Paul? Because you know who you are and you're responsible for yourself. And when you actually are like that as a person, your outlook on life changes.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say hello to my neighbours. There's a couple of them that don't respond in the right way. But I've always tried, you know, to be kind and decent to folk.
Yes.
And if they don't,
me too. Yeah. And a lot of times they don't respond back.
I hate this word, by the way, but we all gravitate towards each other. We just do. That's what, you know, we want to share and care. That's what it's about, isn't it?
Exactly.
We are.
What we go on, sorry, James.
I was going to say the word empath. If you think about it, the path is they've got it as electromagnetic. Now, if you flip it over, you've got, because it's the magnetism that drives the electric and the dielectric. So it's me path. And the other, in spirituality, they talk about the inner child. Well, what do children do? You know what it's like with the terrible twos. Why? Well, that's exactly what we should be doing. Never stop asking why.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And look at the labels they give us, like Asperger's. Well, that's an asp, which is a type of snake, and you're purging it. Autism, you've got AU, which is gold. It's auto and am, because you can't be controlled by this system because we think out the box. It's a beautiful thing. But it's thrown as a negative label, and people never think there's a positive side to it.
That's right.
I know, and do you know what? I put out this little video as well with this medium. I can't remember her name right now because I can't remember her name. But anyway, what she's basically saying is that there's 3 waves of people. But the third wave is our children, is maybe even your age, Paul. But basically, she said these children know everything, and the teachers won't accept it. You know, and the teacher wants an answer, and the children just say we know it.
Yeah.
And the teacher wants them to explain it, and then they get labelled as ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah, my youngest son has got ADHD, OCD, and epilepsy. And then my older one, he's a scientist, a biogenetic scientist. He doesn't care scientism.
And his ego.
And his ego. He's got an ego to go with it. Oh, it drives me nuts.
Rosy, we all have those, unfortunately. That's the narcissistic society, is the ego people.
Yeah.
And the really sad thing is, though, it's in a sense, it's not their fault, because you know what is it? You're aspired to win money. You're aspired to follow that footballer. Oh, he's on £20 million a year. You know, they're aspiring to things that we can never have. And then everybody goes, oh, look, I bought a new car. I'm the bee's knees. It's all like that. It's all done on material things. Right now, maybe this is what's going to happen, because what you thought was important 2 months ago isn't anymore. We don't have any law. We're not human. We've got to rethink quite quickly, I think, as people.
Yeah, well, I've been having a big clear out this week of stuff, because it's amazing how quick you acquire stuff.
Oh, yes.
And you can't, it's ridiculous.
Karen, that's a very interesting word as well, aspire, because you've got asp there and then you've got pyre. Now, are we talking about a funeral pyre? Because you're on the road to destruction with aspiring to this material, wanting this great big mansion with electronic gates and umpteen sports cars and a yacht. And I think this is the hell that the dark side are going through. Because they don't reincarnate and have the slate wipe clean, they've got all their past life memories when these parasites move from body to body. So you imagine if you were getting that millionaire lifestyle, it would get very boring after a while. And I think that's the trick that they're stuck in. But like when you've got one of the Rockefellers who wants his 8th heart transplant, it's because he'll end up coming back as a baby, and he's now got to climb his way up to get that power back because somebody has replaced him. Vampires play this leapfrog game with each other, and I think that's.
You know what? I think it's so strange that we're here. We don't know what we live on. We don't know where we are, and then this whole thing that we're going to die as people. That's very important. But it's all plastered over with this maze of Matrix.
But
it's
we die. All of us here and everybody else listening to this has already died. The moment that you're born and that umbilical cord is clamped, it's cut off your food supply, it's cut off your oxygen supply. It's only when you're reanimated by a doctor, because it happens at the moment of birth, nobody remembers it. It's the greatest trick in the book. So everybody's fearing the inevitable, which is death of the physical body, but the soul does not die. It's infinite.
Right.
You change the perspective on it, and it changes the entire way you look at this 3D reality. It's like, so what if I die tomorrow or I die in 20, 30 years time? It's minimal. We're here for an experience, and we go through pain, we go through, I mean, I'm sure most of you have been through either anxiety or depression or really black points in your life, but you're still here and you've pulled through because you've still got light inside yourselves.
Yes.
Can I just say, we've been going for an hour and a quarter. Time flies when you're having fun, and it's been a really, really great hangout. I just wondered if everybody has a few little words. We start with the ladies first. Amy, start with you. What would you like, a message for everyone?
Oh, well, I just, this has been such a nice hangout, talking to everybody, and I think, if we just all, be kind to each other and listen to each other's opinion. We're all entitled, to our opinions, and we should respect each other. And we're going through, a really strange time. But let's keep our faith and try to find, whatever positive that we can. And, I think part of the agenda with all what's going on is to divide people, because, some people are so upset that they are afraid they're going to catch this disease, and they get angry at the people that, are not putting their mask on, and like we get divided, and that's
Well,
another part
Amy,
of
I
their
put a video out
plan.
yesterday. The UK police don't know how to handle it. They're being really aggressive.
Right. Yeah, because they've never really been through something like this before. And, people, there was a man in America, a minister, and he was holding a drive-by church service, and the cops got wind of it, and they sent 20 cop cars, and they told this minister that if the people showed up, they would give them a chance to leave, but if they didn't leave, they were going to get a ticket. And then they told the pastor, they said, your rights have been suspended. And the pastor said, no, they haven't. He said, our rights comes from God, and from the Bible, and from God, and from our First and Second Amendment, and you can't suspend our rights, you police or anybody else, not the governor, not anybody. He stood up to the police about that. He said, you cannot suspend our rights. And he said, I'm not doing anything but preaching the word of God. And I'm not, where he lived was a poor community, and there was lots of crime and drugs. He said, I'm not doing any of that, and you should be when the street corners where the drug dealers are, but instead you're here. And he said, what has America become? And so I think we just have to remember that our race does come from God, and not buy into the fear that they'll try to put on us, and not allow them to divide us as people. We're all people, no matter what our background or where we're from or anything, and we need to just really stick together and not allow them to get us to turn on each other, because they've been encouraging.
So lovely, Amy. Amy's so
thank
lovely.
You.
You are, Amy.
Thank you.
You're always a bright light. You are, and yeah, a kind person. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah, just that, I do think that's part of their agenda. They like to keep, us divided, whether it's by race or by our political affiliation, if you believe in all that. And we're just all human beings, and don't put your faith in these politicians and that mainstream media, because they just feed to the lies and the fear. And we need to just come together as a community of people, and love each other and be kind to each other. And like Paul was saying, how he talked to that man that no one ever talked to, and he wound up saving his life because the man was getting ready to take his own life. So if we could just be kind to people, but whoever they are, it could make or break their day.
I know what I something came into my mind then. When I moved into Hungerford years ago, I could see this elderly man struggling on the bridge, and the person I was with at the time, he was going like, no, just leave him alone, don't talk to him, let's just go past. And I stopped, and basically this man was struggling. I mean, he was basically wobbling on the spot, and basically I said, no, let's take him home. And we took him home, and I only realised when we got to his door, because my main point was to get him home, was that he'd actually really leant on us, so that when he went into the house, it was like, the relief that he wasn't leaning on us, because he was struggling. And you know what his wife said?
What?
His wife said to me, thank you so much for bringing him home. He got Parkinson's disease, and he'd got stuck on the bridge. If I'd listened to the person I was with, we wouldn't have helped him, but I didn't. So that's what people have to be like. You have to think with your heart more, not with your head.
Yes.
Anyway, Amy, I love you. Rosie,
I love you too.
what's your thoughts, Rosie?
I'd like to say that don't fear death, because when you die, when you go into the tunnel, you need to not go to the light, because the light is the trick, and you need to go to the dark instead, where you'll find the light beyond that.
Wow.
Direction. Go in the tunnel. I've been there. When there's two directions, there's the light at one end, and there's the dark at the other. You need to go to the dark end, not the light end, because the light end, they'll bring you back, they trick you, and they'll recycle you.
That is really evident if you just look in the mirror, because what is said to be the windows of the soul, it's the eyes. And what's in the middle of your eyes? The pupils, which are black. And the word pupil, I mean, this is what this life is an experience, the life lessons that we're going through. And we just have to keep asking why continuously. As a Y chromosome in a male body, it is my duty. I mean, this is the duality of it as well. Yes, it's ladies first, but the gentleman has to go first to open the door for the lady.
Can I say something? I myself got quite into spirit world and went to spirit group and stuff like that. But what I realised was, by watching any medium, when they talk, we never come back. So when we die, we're always on the other side, whatever it is, whether it's just a different dimension. So that means they never really leave. They're still here. And that's why you sense people, because they're still here somehow. Or I don't know what it is, but a medium never, ever says, well, your dad's back in this world. They always, the people they're talking to are on the other side.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add that. I'm not sure if we come back. I used to think we did. I thought we had many lives, maybe. And sometimes it's a bit like the 1920s music comes on, the Charleston and all that. And I'm doing it. I don't even like it, but is that from another life? I don't know. And I've got Cleopatra in my brain, and a few other times where I might have been.
Interesting. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my crazy mind. Anyway, Jane, do you want to have your last thought then? A message for everyone?
I think that we do have the lives before this one. I remember at least two of mine. So,
well, I think I do, but I never hear a medium say we come back. I just thought that was interesting. But James, do you want to give your?
What I actually want to do is give Paul's channel a plug, Black Sheep Research. I mean, it's the encyclopedia of, if you want to look at any standalone topic and explore it, that's the best place to start.
Well, I'm promoting all your channels on mine as well. So.
Oh, it's brilliant. I'm getting blushed nearly then. Also, I want to just pick up on something what Amy said. If you think about it, you want to divide us. Picture divide, the symbol for mathematics. It's a wall between us. That's what it is. It's a wall between us. That's why they put the two dots and a wall in between us. So just take away the wall, and we can only do that with humanity and being nice. You know what I mean? People seem to think you have to walk around with a permanent cheesy grin. You don't. You just have to have the basic human respect of the humanity. I mean, the humanity is a human, and the human is a frequency. The hue is, obviously, in an Egyptian point of view, is the first breath. And that is in the human. It's in the human residence, the who. So when you look at it that point of view, we have a core frequency, and we all share it, because we're one. I've talked about it in many videos. We are from the one wave, and that's what I call a wave, in hence frequency, where we all come from. Our soul. We're all unique, but we do have a core frequency, and that's what they're trying to take away from us. They're trying to divide us, because if you think about all the positives, the more people are more positive, it goes against negativity, and they can't stand it. It's like they need to feed on the negativity and get that fight or flight reflex, which triggers the adrenochrome. The adrenaline is crystal based, so that's what they want. They want the adrenochrome.
Also, Paul, with what you're saying, is that a lot of people think that they're educated and they're not.
No, you don't have to be I didn't pass anything at school. I was into sports rugby. That's what I was going to go do, because I was fast. I was strong, and then it took a bad accident, but I've always been into history, and I was too scared because of, obviously, I had learning difficulties and that, and I didn't want to promote myself, because people when you put yourself out there, people ridicule it. It's that troll ethos. And that's what I try to promote on my channel, by telling people you can just do it. You never know where that journey will take you. It's something new. So I started last few years ago, writing poems, writing quotes, just so I can get people to see, if I can do it, you can do it. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I want people to do, is just try things that you've never done before, and don't be scared of a failure.
You open yourself, it's different, isn't it? Because it means that you're not worrying about your ego anymore. And that's the nice thing about the people that come on my hangouts, is we're not ego based. We're not going me first. We're trying to share, care and help, you know, and give information. I love it. I like what you say. I like what you all say. And yeah, carry on, Paul. You want to finish?
You just have to get it away from you, because it's another quote I've written. It's, wherever you go, he goes. Well, he go is ego. So wherever you go, that goes with it. It doesn't matter if, like me, we all have a little bit of an ego inside us, and that's just a negative frequency influencing you. You can't get rid of it. People can lie.
Yeah, I heard you need an ego even to get out of bed.
Yeah,
so it's not having an ego, it's how you use your ego. It's how you use it.
Yeah.
So it's just how, like you said, how you use it. I always try and just word a smile, be positive, and just more smiling. And then I always finish by saying, ride life like you stole it. Because, you know, we just need a bit more, you know, happiness. I know you don't want to walk around like really cheesy, and I don't like people like that who are really too they're always up to something, but you have to experience both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that only happens if you know who you are as a person, because if you don't know who you are, you're always fighting with everything. And then when you know who you are, you're not worrying about yourself anymore. You can give.
Yeah, and that's what me, James, everyone, I always promote. Don't chuck a topic off the table. My analogy is, just picture your big table in front of you. So you've got a big circle table, and you have all the topics that you can research, right? Picture a table lamp shining on it. If you can control that light, you can make anything with the shadows. So you can change any topic to you. So your power is in you, is get more light. So if I research something, that's another light shine. It'll reveal a little bit more. You go and do it, it'll reveal a bit more. There's no point looking at the truth in 2D when you can see all around it. And that's what the perspective is. So if all of us, every one of us researches all topics best we can, we'll always reveal a little bit more each time. And then that gives us the bigger picture. So that's what we have to do. Don't take anything off the table. That's what they want. They want to divide us.
Yes.
There we go.
That's awesome.
All I can say is power to the people. Power to the people.
Yes.
I really, really enjoyed today. Thank you so much. Very uplifting. So thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Black Sheep.
Yes.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Rosy. Thank you, James. And thank you, Amy.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Oh.
All right, then. We're saying, so it's Amy, James, Rosie, chat room. And, I hope that we've resonated with you.
Oh, yes.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.